receiving evidence, receiving specific messages from our departed loved ones doesn't only prove that the consciousness continues beyond physical existence, it actually reminds us of one simple thing that we often forget in our everyday life. It reminds us of what love feels like in our body. I'm Darko, medium, and I communicate with the souls of those who have departed their physical existence. If you're here for the first time, welcome. Today I want to share with you a personal experience that I had just a couple of days ago when one of my departed loved ones, specifically my mother, came through with such a message that shook me down to my core. And it actually reminded me of something that I have forgotten a long time ago. As a medium or a person, Lucy, if you're wondering what am I doing with my hands down here, here it is. This is Lucy. Actually, every time I turn on the camera, she comes to me and she goes like, "Oh, pet me, pet me, pet me." But let me get back to my story. As a medium, as someone who can communicate with spirits, you would think that I would constantly be talking to my departed loved ones, like consciously sitting down and talking to them. But I actually don't. I don't actively pull on them and rely on every single thing to ask for their advice. They guide us naturally, just you and me. All of us, they guide us through synchronicities, they guide us through our thoughts, they inspire us with the ideas that we need to implement in our daily lives. I've learned the art of letting go, and letting go, let me put on my glasses, I'm blind as a bat. So letting go doesn't mean erasing them or burying that loss. It means processing the grief, accepting the reality, and retaining who we actually became because of that connection in our life. Life simply moves forward. We are meant to focus on finding joy in this life, because if my loved ones have taught me anything through communication with them over the years, is that this life, under these circumstances and with these exact people that we have in our life right now, will never happen again. Our loved ones are okay, and they want us to be okay too. But a few days ago, the spirit of my mother came through to give me an advice on the transition that I'm currently navigating. Then she gave me a piece of validation that completely short-circuited my mind. She said to me, "I still do hear what I did when I was in the physical world." I asked her what she meant, and she said, "I still walk around heaven telling everyone, this is my son. I am so proud of you and everything you're doing." What you are taking on is not an easy thing to do, but we see it all. You don't need to worry. We are walking with you every step of the way. When she said that, the floodgates of memory actually opened. My mother worked in a hospital. Whenever I would go to visit her when she was alive, she would drag me around to her colleagues, the nurses, the doctors, just bursting with pride, saying the exact same thing. "This is my son. I'm so proud of him." And she would tell them about all my small achievements, even as a child. How good of a student I was in the school, or how polite I was and all that. I guess only mothers would understand this. And that one specific unedited habit that traveled actually across dimensions to remind me of the exact texture of her love. When she spoke about what I am taking on currently, she was actually referring to the brutal work that I have done over the 6 years, sitting in the dark, deconstructing my ego identity, unearthing shadow work, and systematically clearing the heavy, inherited, transgenerational distortions of the region where I live. I realize now I was actually never alone in that darkness, the spirits of my loved one were actually anchoring the space. They were there the whole time, guiding this entire process. And I know that very often we think that we are alone in the world, just because we don't have that physical presence around us. But trust me, we are never alone. There are so many of our loved ones surrounding us all the time, wanting to help us in any given moment. So like I said, just getting that one sentence, one piece of information, one evidence of something that she used to do out of love, of course, as most mothers do. It literally reminded me of something that I've forgotten a long time ago, because it's been, I think, like 28 years now. Yes, 28 years now since she's not in my life physically, but she's been there actually the whole time. And that one sentence reminded me of exactly how it feels to be loved by someone. It is not unusual that very often we actually don't see ourselves and everything that we do in life through loving eyes of our loved ones. We are very often critical of ourselves. That's another thing that she mentioned. She said, oh yeah, let me point this out. Spirit will never tell you do this or do that, or don't do this or don't do that. They only give you an option because they will always respect your choices. But her advice is that when they come to, actually, they're always, if you do this, things might happen like this. So she gave me another advice. She said, whatever you do, even putting yourselves out there as you're doing right now, speaking publicly that you're a medium, something that is judged in the eye of the public, something that is misunderstood, something that is scrutinized by many, something that has been mystified, which is the most natural thing that each and every one of us has, which is a communication with expanded part of our own consciousness. So she told me, she said, if you are a bit less critical of yourself and the work that you do, if you focus on positive things that you've done, she said, everything you do from that moment on, or if you focus on that in that moment, she said, the whole experience is going to shift. Everything is going to start flowing out of you. You will not stutter. And then she said, stop thinking about what you sound like. People who need to get the message, they will not care whether your English is perfect, whether your pronunciation is perfect or excellent. People who need consolation, people who need to hear from their own loved ones, they're only going to care about the message. Amazing advices, and to be honest with you, I think that she's completely right. I think that what we're going to look like in front of the camera, or what we're going to sound like, is just like a static that spoils the moment. I think that we all do need that sometimes, to see ourselves from non-judgmental eyes of the world, and actually see ourselves and everything that we do and everything that we are in the moment through the eyes of love, even if it's from our loved ones who are not with us here in the physical world any longer. I literally felt it here in my heart and in my body. I just recalled something that I forgot, and that I believe that many people do forget, is how much we are doing great in every given moment, because we are actually doing the best we can. If you are interested in having a one-on-one session through me as a medium to connect with your loved ones, you have all my contact information in the description box below this video. If you made it this far, thank you for sitting with me, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.